Hey there, I've got a question for the Hive Mind today. This comes from a watcher who commented, had a question about buying at shows. I personally don't have enough experience with this to answer the question for her, so I wanted to throw it out there, get some attention on this question, and see if anyone can help us out in the comments. Okay, is this not the most poor, pathetic little guy you've ever seen? Yes, we've done the responsible thing, and we had Otto neutered yesterday, and he is not loving the cone. He is quite dramatic about it, and he has a difficult time figuring out how to walk through, well, any open space, including a barn door. So he's looking kind of pathetic and sad. You know, we usually see Otto bopping around in the videos, visiting the rabbits, and he's just not in love with this idea today. Samwise, not sure where he is, but it's a nice cool day today. Actually, we're in the 70s. Big drop from the over 90 of yesterday. And we've got a nice rain going on, which all the plants are loving and sucking up. And Samwise, you know, he's our 11-year-old dog that sometimes is in the videos, not quite as much as Otto, and he's bopping around here somewhere, but he's kind of loving life. I think he's loving being top dog again, being able to, you know, chill and enjoy this cooler weather and chase his ball without dying of heat stroke. So it's good in the dog world. I guess it depends on which dog you are, though. But to really get to the heart of today's video, I had a question from a commenter. Not seeing a lot of answer from it on the comment, and I know it's a lot easier for you guys if I just post a video and kind of highlight the information we're looking for. So her question was, and this came from the video when we were talking about buying at auction and how that's not really necessarily a bad thing. The animals, rabbits end up there a lot due to sheer volume and numbers, and that there are some good animals, good quality animals you can get out of an auction. I urge you to go on over to that video if you haven't seen it yet, and if you're considering buying from an auction and maybe you're getting a little flack from people, go ahead and watch that and read through some of the comments. I think you're going to feel better about buying from an auction if you do that. So her question in the comments there was, can anyone give some information about how you go about buying rabbits at a rabbit show? Now, this is one of the top places that are listed as being able to go buy quality rabbits, and I don't doubt, that they're quality there for the most part, because why would you be taking a rabbit to a rabbit show that's not quality? But she said when she went, she kind of didn't get a lot of help and response. Now, maybe that's just the show she ended up at. Maybe that show that day just didn't have, maybe the people showing didn't have a lot of extra rabbits to sell. So there just wasn't anything on hand. She said that she was mostly pointed to go talk to the cull buyer. So, I'm going to be totally open and honest here. I tell people check out shows for buying because it is a place for you to be able to buy meat rabbits, and we need as many options as we can get because it can be really tough to get a hold of meat rabbits depending where you live. But I don't have any experience with it. I've never purchased rabbits at a show. I've only been to our country fair, and there's not really a lot of rabbit showing around here anymore. We used to. And there are some active groups that are trying to get more shows together and are doing a good job with that, but it is more limited where I am. So it's just not a super option for me. So I haven't done it, can't speak to it. So I'm asking you guys, and I'm throwing it out there, can anyone help us out? Can you explain in the comments who we should be approaching at a show if we're interested in buying? Is there a specific area of the show or a time of day or anything like that? Or, is it something that should wait till the end of the show? Maybe they're showing and they're waiting to see who wins because that maybe is demanding a better price for their rabbits. That would be logical. That would be reasonable. Is there something we're missing about buying shows that we just don't know, that just wasn't being made clear to her? Are people taking large groups of, say, grow outs or culls to a show specifically to sell to a cull buyer? Maybe a cull buyer is coming there to collect up whatever rabbits. And again, I would suspect, totally guessing here, but I would suspect that if people are doing that, there's going to be a range in quality of those animals, but also that some of those show people may be selling to the cull buyer because these are things that they want to not show as show animals. So can you give us perspective on that? Can you help us out to know if you're buying at a show, if you're buying from the cull breeder at a show, what questions you need to ask? What, is it that you don't want to buy from the cull breeder? Because that's basically, the last resort for the animals that aren't making the cut. Is that a bad idea? Is it a good idea? Is it an okay idea? Are there questions we should be asking? So, again, that's kind of the gist of it. We're just trying to gather more information. And I thought that there probably are a lot of people, a lot of you out there that have more experience maybe with buying at a show, but maybe even what could be even more helpful is selling at a show and what your process is if you do that. Great if you had locations, not necessarily necessary, but that would be a great thing to add. Great if you know which shows, I know there are some bigger shows out there, probably more towards the Midwest. There are some bigger shows out there that have great reputations and are well attended. So if there are shows you know of that typically are great places to go buying good meat rabbits, let us know. Anything else that you could offer about, pricing or things to think about? Because, just because you're buying at a show doesn't mean you're intending to breed for show. You might just be breeding for meat. And in which case, I've seen some of these rabbits, these high-end rabbits that are really successful in the shows and have a lot of legs. Like they might be going for $100, but that might be a lot to pay for a breeder just to get into breeding backyard meat. So again, all information anyone can offer us. These are the questions that are cropping to my mind. I'd like to get her some answers and get more of a conversation going on this topic. So with that, I am going to go about my day. It is time to feed and water, as we can tell by everyone who's been bored and tossed around their water and their dishes. And they're all feeling a little better today because it is nice and cool and they're getting some relief. So I think that sometimes, it's a little bit like spring fever in the summer where they start to feel good and they start to raise havoc in some of these pens. So gonna move along and do that. We can say hello to AB Kitty. AB Kitty. Hi, AB Kitty. Aw, hi, AB Kitty. And his poor pathetic buddy, Otto, over here, looking longingly, wishing for the days when he didn't have to wear this stupid cone. I will say, don't worry about him. He's feeling good. He's doing really well otherwise. He just does not like the cone. When we take the cone off to let him eat and drink, he's a whole different dog and back to his old self again. So, again, just a topic for the day, throwing it out there, trying to get some help for the community and saying hello to the animals. Thanks for being here. Come on over to meetrabbits.org for information, articles, recipes, the full gamut, and we'll see you back here next time.